Hey guys. Doesn't this song just make you want to dance? I picked it for a reason, and hopefully after the lesson you will be able to figure out why. By the title of the lesson, you know that it is about words and how we pick and choose and why words matter, right? And specifically, even when authors are using them. Hi, guys. It's Miss Mull here, and I'm super excited to talk to you about meanings of words and phrases in a text. And I love the idea how word choice affects the mood and tone of a text. So we're going to dive in that idea a little bit deeper today. Welcome, Miss Mull's class and Miss Hebb's class, Miss Jefferson and Miss Dare, Miss Allison and Miss Gist's class. Welcome. I'm really excited to be able to get to teach you today about word choice and understanding context of a word. Looking at the setting is super important with word choice because it affects the tone. What is tone? What is mood? How do the words that the author decides to use affect and then create that idea? That's where we're going today, and hopefully you'll be able to grab some really great ideas and build on your learning. If we were together in class, we would be saying this standard out loud. So every time I come to you, that is what I want you to do, because it is really critical to own what you are learning. Our learning target is from standard RL 4.4. It is, I can determine the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in a text, including words that affect the meaning and the tone. What is tone and mood in literature? Tone refers to the author's attitude towards a, hold on. Attitude towards a text or towards a subject. Let's start that over. Tone refers to the author's attitude toward a subject. Mood refers to the reader's emotions after reading a piece of literature. Guys, authors choose words to set the tone and create a mood. And word choice is very important. As readers, we are thinkers, and I say that every time I come to you. You need to be thinking about why the author chose the word. You need to know what the word means. You need to understand that, a lot of times authors, they won't say sad. They'll say a stronger word. They won't say mad. They'll say a stronger word. And used in context, they'll add some detail that really sets the stage. And as a reader, we're like, it's as if we are right there. And authors are super intelligent. They don't have music that they can press, right, and cue up the scary music so all of a sudden I know to be frightened. They have to pick and choose words so that we understand that the tone is like terror, right, and that we are feeling scared as readers as we walk through the journey with the characters. I mean, I could say Lily walked away from her mom, or I could say Lily stomped away from her mom. The author used stomped to set the tone that Lily is frustrated. And it's as if we are right there in the situation and understand that the mom probably said no to Lily and Lily is stomping off and she's mad. I mean, which sentence uses a stronger word that sets the tone? What you say is important. In life, guys, not just in the story that you're reading, what you say, the words that come out of your mouth are critical and super important, and they can give life or they can take away life. You can breathe life into somebody by the words that you choose, but then you can also really hurt somebody by the words that you choose. People like to say sometimes, well, I only said it this way. Well, how they said it matters too. And that is tone. So we're going to dive into it as a text, as an author and a reader. But really in life, it's the same. How you say something matters. And then guys, your words, they impact others and create emotion. So those are the three things that we're going to speak today about. So our words, how we say it, and then the impact that it has on others. Has anyone ever asked you to change your tone? Which of the following has a kinder tone? Move, Alex. It's my turn on the computer. You've been hogging it for the past hour. Would you please let me use the computer now, Alex? You've been using it for the past hour. So I think it's my turn now. I mean, if we look at the sentences, they are saying pretty much the same thing. There's a few word choices that change the tone, however. I want you to think about it. Which is kinder? What words in these sentences show tone? If you have a piece of paper, or if you have a sticky note, or you have something that you can make notes on, let's go ahead and just write down your thoughts. Move, Alex. It's my turn on the computer. You've been hogging it for the past hour. Would you please let me use the computer now, Alex? You've been using it for the past hour, so I think it's my turn now. Are there words here that show tone? What word is suggesting a tone? When I look at the first sentence, I actually am struck by the punctuation. And our choice of punctuation actually says something as well. And when you are giving a direct command, like stop or move, Alex, you are not asking, you are commanding. It shows sudden emotion. I would say that some of the clues right here are punctuation. And I didn't add them in the bubbles, but as readers, I really want you to be taking a look at those hints and those moments. Punctuation is a big deal. How we say something. I have highlighted the second sentence because it is the kinder moment. But let's take a look at some of the other things that I've listed on this page. When asked earlier about your word ideas, maybe you wrote down the word hogging, or maybe you wrote down the my. I mean, it's all caps, right? If I text somebody and I'm writing it in all caps, it's like I'm yelling. And so whoever is telling Alex to move, they are literally yelling with the my. The emphasis is on my. And so just with that moment, the author has a tone. I have the word hogging. That is not a pleasant moment, but I also have in the second sentence, please, and I have some question marks here, and I'm saying the same thing in sentence number 1, but how I'm saying it, or how the person is saying it, is much kinder. My, move, Alex! Exclamation point. I mean, if somebody tells me to move and they don't say please, or they don't ask me politely, I'm going to have a reaction. So my reaction to this moment is like, well, no, right? I mean, if you want to have a reaction that is in your favor, maybe use kindness. I have, and I'm going to move my head over here under this column where there's some space. Examples of words authors use related to tone and mood. I mean, we are really set in our ways with saying the word angry and sad and happy, and those moments where we just go right to the words that we use, quote, a lot. But I wanted to give you several lists of some words that create a tone and a mood within a text. And remember, layers of words and words that have color. Remember, last time I came to you, we really talked about, or not last time, but a couple times ago, we talked about how words are colorful and they are spicy and they are layered. I mean, I can say angry or I can say vengeful or violent. I could also say grumpy or bitter. And they have sort of layers of meaning. If I'm frustrated, it's like I've tried to do something, it's not working, but it's a lot different than being violent. Violent is now I am being destructive and I'm hurting something or somebody. So word choice matters in a text. If I'm bitter, I'm resentful, I'm feeling really negative towards somebody because maybe they did something to me, and now that bitterness is really creating this resentment, this anger towards that person. We have some new words maybe for us. Sorrow and somber means sad. Sorrow, a lot of times, and somber is kind of a serious sad, right? Somber mood would be at a funeral. Tragic, unhappy. Joyful. I love the idea of using the word sunny as joyful. We talked about multiple meaning words several days back. You know, I think of sunny as the sun in the cloud is, quote, sunny, but when somebody has a sunny personality or the author is trying to create a sunny, joyful, merry, happy, jolly, cheerful mood and tone, they might use that word. I love the word tranquil and serene. It means calm. Noisy. A lot of times if something is noisy, there's an excited environment. Hysterical. I thought this was a good one because I can use the word hysterical as somebody is hysterical, like they're so funny, they're, quote, hysterical. But I can also use the word hysterical meaning excited, like she could not calm down. She was hysterical. She was reacting and like simmering and over the top, hysterical. I'm going to take 4 of those words that were in that on that page. We're just going to break those down because those words are going to be important in 2 texts that we read together. Remember, we are going to be looking for word choice, word phrases, and how they set, quote, the tone of the piece. Remember, the tone is the author's attitude. We're going to be picking up and inferring bits and pieces and collecting that information from word choice and tone and setting and thoughts and feelings of the character. And then we derive this, okay, that was a sad piece, or that was, you know, a peaceful piece, a serene article. Let's look at 4 words and then let's practice with these words on the next several slides. I have the word conceited. Conceited means a belief that you are better than others, like I'm number 1 in the basketball court. Earnest. It means showing great effort and trying your best. Bitter. You get bitter when something is unjust or unfair, feeling anger or resentful about a bad experience or an unjust treatment. So maybe somebody is picking on you over and over and over and over again for no reason. And now you're like, that's not fair. And you become bitter. Serene, very peaceful or calm. Let's go ahead and read this selection together. Which tone would describe the following passage? And while we are reading this, we are looking for word choice. What is the attitude of the author? And how do I know? I know that by word choice. So we're going to be looking for those clues. And then on the next slide, we're going to be working through those moments that helped us determine whether the tone was conceited, earnest, bitter, or serene. feeling better than somebody, working hard, anger, peace. I used to be a complainer. I would whine about how tired I was after basketball practice. I would grumble if mom told me that I had to walk the 4 blocks home after school. That all changed 2 years ago. My dad was in a serious car accident that left him paralyzed. He can no longer walk and is confined to a wheelchair. Well, this event changed my whole perspective on life, and I know that my dad would give anything to be able to run down a basketball court. He would love to be able to walk 4 blocks. And I realized how ridiculous it was to complain about having to use my legs when there are people like my dad whose legs don't work at all. Now I walk home after basketball practice ends and I shoot baskets for at least 30 minutes more in my driveway. I'm determined to be the best basketball player I can be, and I'm doing it for my dad. I want him to be proud when he sees me run down the court. You can hear my washing machine in the background. I apologize, but I'm doing some laundry. Okay, what word choice? What is the attitude? What is the author feeling? And how do we know? Like, what is the attitude that the author is trying to portray? Take a look at this piece. I'm just going to give you a second. I do want you to think about what you're feeling afterwards, and we're going to dive into how it makes us feel, the mood, in just a moment as well. There's definitely, when we talk about, a change in a character was one way up here at the top, and now is completely different at the back end. I think there's definitely a lesson to be learned from this piece, and I hope you're thinking about that lesson and how you can apply it to yourself as well right now. We have the same text right here. I could have gone in and highlighted more, but this is a start. This little guy, he certainly was one way at the beginning. He would whine, he would grumble, I can't believe I gotta walk home, I can't believe I gotta do practice, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we complain about the silliest things, really we do. And what we should be doing is being grateful that we have 2 feet that work, 2 legs that work, right? We get to do basketball practice. We get to walk. It is a privilege that we have. How does the author change, or sorry, not the author, the character change at the end? What is he doing? He is determined and he's doing it. He is working hard. What is the tone of the passage? Let's go back one more slide. Is it somebody that's thinking they're better? Is it somebody that is doing their best and working hard? Is it somebody that is angry and feeling unjust? I mean, definitely it doesn't seem fair that the dad experienced this car accident. But is that the tone? Is it really about the accident, or is it about something else? Is there a peaceful feeling and moment? Are there peaceful words? Sorry, I'm getting an email. If you selected Ernest, you are correct. The author wants to set the tone that, there's a change, and this little kid is working so hard to now make his dad proud, and to almost like use his legs, like his own legs, because his dad can't use his. And really, I want you to be thinking about, the words the authors use to establish tone, but now how do you feel after reading the passage? Is there something that you're feeling? Do you have some emotion words that come to mind? Because word choice that the author has, that attitude, creating that setting, even that scene of like the car accident, I mean, that's tragic. That's so, quote, sad. I could feel sad after I read this piece. Like, wow. Are there some emotion words that you have that you could write on a sticky note? I wrote down a couple, and I am just sliding through these slides because I don't want to take up like a ton of time. We definitely want to get to your moment that you're working on your own with tone and mood. But I felt sorry. I did. I felt that sorry. Like, that's awful. I felt regret. Like, there are times in my life that I've complained and over just silly stuff that was really not complain worthy. I felt compassion for the dad and for the whole situation. I mean, that must have really had an impact on that family's life, like that everyday life. And we definitely see it in how the boy or this girl changed as a result of this hardship. And I'm just going to tell you, when we experience hard things, there's a saying that it can make us bitter or it can make us better. And I feel like this little boy, through that hard time with his dad, he became better. And I'm proud of him for becoming better. And I'm also hopeful that even though in hard times, good can come from that moment. And so those are just some emotions and some moods and feelings that I was feeling, and maybe you were too. I have those same words: conceited, earnest, bitter, and serene. Remember, conceited is that feeling of being better. Earnest is that working hard. Bitter is that resentful, that things are not, quote, fair. And serene. You're going to be thinking about word choice. I want you to be maybe jotting down some words or phrases that the author used in this text that set the tone. I mean, what is the action really? Because there could be something that's happening that you're like, whoa, that's definitely a tone moment. Maybe there's a setting that you're like, that sets the tone. The atmosphere sets the tone. Well, let's think about those word choices as well. Read with me as I read this out loud. When I hear people my age say that they would like to return to the, quote, good old days of the 1950s, those aren't my good old days. Just saying. Those are people a little older. I just shake my head. Growing up in the 1950s was no picnic. At least, not for me. Although I had 2 older brothers, I was the oldest daughter in a family of 10. Well, when I wasn't helping Ma cook, clean, or do laundry, I was chasing after my younger siblings. I mean, did my brothers have to do any of the household chores I had to do? Course not. That's women's work, my dad used to bark. Well, for me, the worst day of the year was the last day of school. The thought of spending 3 long months at home without reprieve, that means a break, of school, was unbearable. 3 months of never-ending chores. 3 months of crying. Babies in dirty diapers. 3 months of suffering in our small, hot farmhouse that only had 2 fans. I mean, do I want to return to the good old days? No way. Before we move on to the next slide, I really do want you to take a look at the word choice. What were some words that the authors used to help establish tone? I do want you to take a look at our 4 choices, and I want you to jot some ideas down. I'm just going to wait for just a minute, not even probably, to move forward. But hopefully you were writing down some things, maybe even as I was writing. I mean, and beyond setting the tone, what are you feeling after you read this piece? Because that also, to be honest with you, helps you with tone. I want you to be thinking while you're reading too, and asking yourself questions. These are just some ideas that I wrote down. Maybe you wrote down a couple of moments like the whole cooking, cleaning, and laundering and chasing after younger siblings. I mean, when I was reading this, I was thinking I should be asking them to eliminate a couple choices, and that's really what I want you to do right now. I want you to eliminate two choices up here. Remember, serene means peaceful. There's nothing peaceful about this. I mean, she was, or he was, or she was, sorry, it was definitely a girl. Sorry about that. Because we know that because it's the women's work. And I was the oldest daughter in the family of 10. But when she was listing all of her jobs, and then she said that the last day of school was the worst day, I can imagine that some of you compared that in your own head to yourself, and you're like, that's the best day, right? You now have freedom to go and experience summer and, quote, maybe even do nothing or do things that you loved. She just shook her head, right, when they were like good old days. So we know that she has a, quote, negative feeling about back in the day. She talks about no picnic. It's a figure of speech. I mean, if you're going on a picnic, it's definitely fun. I thought that this dialogue tag, the my dad used to bark, was an interesting word choice. The author could have said my dad said, but the author didn't. They used my dad used to bark. And if I bark at somebody, I'm like, ruff, ruff, I mean, you're just going at them and you're saying it in a sharp way, like a bark and a, quote, bite, like a dog action. And even this idea of that's women's work, that kind of brought up some feelings for me. She talked about 3 months of never-ending chores, 3 months of crying babies, all that suffering, and then no way! Exclamation point. If you are eliminating serene, I will say that there's a lot of hard work, but it's a different type of work than the earlier passage. This seems like forced labor with the emphasis on forced. I mean, she, quote, had to do it because, quote, she was a girl. And conceited is thinking more of yourself. So I'm going to eliminate conceited and I'm going to eliminate serene. So my choice are these two. There is a best choice. Your choice would probably be how she was like, I would never want to come back here because this is what I had to do. She didn't want to work like the passage before. She was being made, and she felt like it was unfair. Your best choice for the tone of the passage would be bitter. If you were feeling something as you were reading this text, that would be great. Because I want you to think about some of your thoughts about the passage. And although we can't share them right now, maybe we'll share them when we jump on during, maybe have in Mull specifically our class meeting. But I want you to think, did you think it was fair? Why was it not fair? Why did she have to work? She's only a kid. Think about how many kids and children live in that farmhouse, in that hot, crowded farmhouse. What are some emotions that come to your mind? Your reaction to the tone that the author established is a mood. Well, I wrote some of mine. You knew I would. I was kind of surprised that that was her life. I mean, it's always really great to read about somebody else's life and experience because it does give us context for our own life. I mean, that is not how my summer was. My summer was all about playing outside, swimming, and riding my bike. I was overwhelmed. I was like, I'm 47 years old, and that's not how I want to spend my summer days. And so all of those tasks and all of those jobs, that created some almost anxiety in me. And I was overwhelmed at the thought of this little girl doing this for her family. And it made me sad. It made me sad. I was also kind of offended by what the dad said, right? Like the author chose that dialogue tag of, and that comment that the dad made of, it was women's work. Purposeful. I mean, that was purposeful on the author's side. And then I'm grateful that that was not my upbringing when I was little. This is a fantastic video, and I have linked it in the lesson resources, and I would like for you to take a moment and watch it. I'm not going to have us watch it together on this slide. Last time I did that with a text, it seemed to have a little bit of a audio interference when I was recording. So I do want you to go and take a look at this, and it goes back and talks about the atmosphere, the imagery that authors use, and those word choices, the setting build up, and authors' word choice within it. It's a great video that reviews some of the concepts hit on today in the lesson, but it does it in a visual manner. Now, it is a teacher that does this video, speaks through this video, and at the very end of the video mentions, like, now on your assignment, that's not your assignment. Like, his assignment for his children is not yours. Yours is going to be attached in Canvas. It's going to be a little bit different. So I do want to make that note. But go back and definitely watch this. It's a fantastic video. Now, this is not like hugely important, but I just really love this movie because it does talk about like feeling and mood and how we react to our environment. And I just wanted to take that and just remind you that we do react to our environments, and people do react to our word choices, and authors do write in a way so we then as readers react to their tone and what they've established as their storyline. And we fall in love with characters, and we think, like in the article, that passage that I read, like, that's unfair, and you want to stand up for her when she didn't have a voice. And so we do get involved emotionally in our text, and we should. That is how our comprehension improves, when we do connect with all of it, the environment, the storyline, the characters, and we react to tone. We react to word choice. We react to what people say and things that happen in our life. So this is just a quick little video. We're not going to spend any time doing that today, but you can go and click on that. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Inside Out, but it's really great. It's all about mood. So go back and watch that. As your practice today, as you're moving out of this lesson, you have a Kahoot game. And I have linked it in the lesson as well. What I love about this Kahoot game is it goes through, obviously, the definition of mood and tone, but then you get to practice with selecting the best tone and mood choice. And then it does go back and talk a little bit about theme. And I thought it was awesome because, Tuesday, I think you went and did theme for me. So this is a great Kahoot. I did not personally create it, but I was lucky enough to find it. So this is in your resource. So you may go ahead and do that. Practice applying the skill to on your own before you get to the assignment. In today's assignment, I have titled it the How Words Affect Mood and Tone. You're going to find it as an exit ticket. There are some passages where you decide what mood and tone the author has established, and word choice and all of that. There are some questions that you're actually going to write in the text as well. So be careful to go ahead and do that and watch or read all of the directions carefully. And then when you're finished, you hit submit. Your tasks, okay? I want you to review this video a second time. You're going to play the Kahoot because that's going to help you review the concept of using the word choice and deciding what tone the author is trying to, quote, set up for us and paint the picture of, and then the mood, how we react to that tone and word choice. And then I want you to complete the assignment. To end our time today, let's go ahead and review the learning target. I can determine the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in a text, including words that affect meaning and tone. Hey guys, and as a reminder, just pick your words carefully, right? Pick your friends carefully too. All right? We love you. We miss you. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask. Words matter, guys. I want you to pick your words carefully. I want you to pick your friends carefully. How you say things matters. And I am happy to be with you today. And I'm going to end just picking up some of that song again. And hopefully you can dance your way out and sing your way out of today's lesson. All right? Bye, guys. Bye, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. 'Cause I'm happy. See you later.